Hi, I'm Anu Jagannathan and I welcome you to this useful video on preparations in negotiations. From this video, you will learn how to negotiate with strong preparation to increase your likeliness of success in the negotiations to 90 to 95%. Now, I often ask this question in my workshops on what is the feeling that you have when you think about a negotiation or enter a negotiation. And I often hear feelings of restlessness, anxiety, maybe uncertainty, and even fear in many cases. And one of the key reasons for these feelings could be the lack of adequate preparations in negotiations. And that is exactly what I want to share in this video to help you overcome some of those feelings. In a survey of 550 respondents on LinkedIn regarding preparation, about 66% claimed that they had not adequately prepared for their negotiation. Even in my classes and workshops, participants often mention that they do not prepare well for their negotiations, and that shows in the final results they get from the negotiation. So as a popular saying goes, failing to prepare is preparing for failure. In this video, we will look at the vital elements that can help you prepare strongly and increase your chances for success in this negotiation. I'll be sharing these vital elements of preparation for your negotiation via an acronym, Ready for You. Now, there might be similar frameworks or acronyms out there that can help you in preparations, but this is the one that I have tried and tested, and it brings me success. So let's now look at the preparation strategies using the acrostic Ready for You. So I'll be sharing 11 strategies that are important for preparation. The first is R. So R stands for research all facts and gather data or info. Now, assuming you are making a presentation, you would need to get your presentation accurate with all facts and data, correct? In a negotiation, you need to prepare using all the facts and data and information that can help you in your negotiation. Now, be it market research, be it historical data, be it price points, or any other justifiable and factual information that you need to get ready so that when you enter the negotiation, you are armed with every possible detail that can help. Let's assume you were negotiating with a vendor. You would need to have historical data on transactions with the vendor, the volumes, the market data, any RFP information, and all relevant data that can help you as you negotiate your deal with the vendor. The next is endeavor to understand the other. This means that you have to make efforts to understand who is the other person that you're negotiating with. And if the other person that you're negotiating with is not the decision maker, then who is the decision maker? Because it's the decision maker who's going to approve the deal. What are the interests of the decision maker so that you know how you can create solutions that cater to the needs of the decision maker. And also you need to know who are the other approvers for this deal so that when the deal comes to a close, you have all the approvals. The next is assess the approaches of negotiation. There are two different approaches. One is called a self-interest or a distributive approach, which basically means you only care about yourself in the deal. And the other is a joint interest, or also called integrative, which basically means that you cater to interests of everybody in the negotiation. So in a deal that is self-interest or distributive, you don't need to waste your time trying to understand the other in terms of their interests and trying to build relationships, because it's more like a one-time transaction. Whereas in another deal, which is a joint interest or integrative deal, you need to invest time in understanding the other as well as their interests and creating solutions that ultimately help both the parties. So building long-term relationships and gaining trust is part of the integrative approach. The next is to determine your sources of leverage in the negotiation. How is it that you can differentiate yourself? How is it that you can gain leverage in the negotiation? Is it by being technically superior or having a product that nobody else can match? Or by being unique in your approach? Or by having partnerships that can help you? You need to gain the leverage so that you can have the power also in the negotiation. The next important aspect is that your interests need to be listed comprehensively. What is it in that negotiation that you are looking for? What are the objectives that you want to achieve? These are your interests. You need to list down not only your top interest or objective, but also what are the other interests that you can achieve in that negotiation. So in a negotiation, whether it is achieving a certain price or exploring new markets or releasing a new product or whatever are your interests in that negotiation, you need to list them comprehensively, because only when you list all your interests and only when you share your interests, the other person knows what you're expecting. Similarly, you need to also focus on their interests. What is it that the other party is looking for? How can you provide solutions that cater to their interests? Once you have your interests and the other party's interests listed, then you can meaningfully create solutions for those interests. O stands for outline your alternatives and determine the best alternative available. If a negotiation doesn't go as you anticipate, what are your alternatives? What are your backup options? You need to invest time to arrive at alternatives. And once you have an alternative, which is a strong alternative, then in that negotiation, you're not desperate to create solutions, or you're not desperate to reach a conclusion, because you always know that you have an alternative that you can fall back on. So the next is R in this list, which stands for rehearse and carry out mock exercise of multiple possible scenarios and conflict situations. So in any negotiation, you need to understand all the possible scenarios and maybe even conflict situations, and then come up with solutions or ways you would react to those scenarios or conflict situations. So whether you work individually or as a team, you can rehearse and work on these mock scenarios that can help you when you actually end up in that position in your negotiation. The next is Y, stands for yield the anchors, which basically means in any negotiation, as you prepare for the negotiation, you need to come up with your starting price or any other numerical value. So any negotiation where there is a numerical or quantitative value, your starting position is called an anchor. And as a part of your preparation, you need to find what's your anchor. What is it that you're going to start the negotiation with? These anchors should be based on justifiable criteria and facts that can then help you justify those anchors if the other party has a question. So preparation stage is where you derive these anchors. The next is O, which stands for offer solution based on all available information. So based on all the information that you have so far, using all the facts and data, looking at your interests and their interests, your alternatives, any anchors, and so on, you can then create solutions, possible solutions that will then help you when you are in the actual negotiation and you need to make a quick decision in terms of what are the possible options. And finally, understand the type of negotiation, assess the mode and setting. The type of negotiation could be standard two-party negotiation or a multi-party negotiation, or maybe it's a coalition. Maybe it's also an agency principle kind of negotiation. So you need to know a little bit about these different types of negotiation, because strategies can differ based on these types of negotiation. The mode of a negotiation is whether you're going to carry out the negotiation in person or remotely via video or phone. Is it a negotiation that you will carry out in written, like an email or a text? I think the best possible mode for any negotiation is a live in-person negotiation. And it is also important to know the setting of the negotiation. Where are you going to negotiate, and how many people are going to be on your team, and so on, because that also makes a difference. Especially when it comes to different cultures, the setting can make a big impact. So this is the Ready For You framework of all different aspects that you need to consider during preparation for your negotiation. Preparation doesn't make you perfect, but it gives you the confidence as you go into the negotiation that you will be able to deal with any kind of scenarios that you encounter. Preparation for your negotiation is just one aspect of the overall process of negotiation. There are several other concepts, strategies, and tips that we share during our workshops and our program Becoming Negotiator Extraordinary. So reach out to us and I would be happy to help you learn more. Use this QR code to book a time at your convenience for a call and let's discuss. Thank you.